Alright everyone, today I have a 2010 Hyundai Sonata, and today we'll be disassembling the door so we can change the window regulator on the inside. But this is going to be some steps on how to disassemble this door though in general. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is actually there are three screws around the panel. So one on the side here, one over here, and one over here. They have plastic covers on them, so use a flat screwdriver and take those covers off. And then you'll see some Phillips screws there, so those will come out. There's one screw behind this plastic cover here, so take this cover off as well, and you'll see a Phillips screw inside there. There's also a screw inside this pocket grabbing handle here. So inside here is a square piece of plastic. Pop that off and take off the screw. And then down here on the door panel, there's two more screws that need to come out. So we'll go ahead and remove those screws. Alright, so once you get all the screws removed, go ahead and pull this handle and pull out the plastic tray. Next up, take a plastic prying tool, or you can use a screwdriver if you want to, but keep in mind the screwdriver will scratch the paint, so be careful. We're going to pry off this tweeter speaker here on the door. Alright, once that's pried off, go ahead and take apart this cable here, or disconnect it. Next, go ahead and take the plastic pry tool again, and we will go ahead and pry around this door panel to take it off the door itself. So there are plastic clips going around the door panel that you'll need to pop off. It's easier if you start from the bottom usually. I didn't need to do the sides because they're already loose. Go ahead and lift up. Behind you will see 4 cables. Go ahead and disconnect all 4 of them. Alright, as you guys can see, sorry the sun's in the way, but the yellow clips on the sides here are the ones that you are popping off with the pry tool. These pink ones are also ones that you're prying off as well. The cables, I'm not sure you guys can see it. One goes here, one goes here, one goes right here, and the other one goes over here. So those cables do come off by if you push a button on the clip and then pull. If you were to disassemble the window switches, you can do so from here as well. Basically, if I remember right, or how this panel comes apart, is on the back side. You have some screws here, so these screws would come out, and then once these screws are taken out, you'd flip it around to the other side, and you stick a pry tool between here and here. This part pries off, and I'm fairly certain that this part pries off as well. Alright, once you're here, you can actually remove this door lock thing by taking out the Phillips screw. Into your door handle, actually. Slides right off. And then the cables, they are these 2 cables here. One pulls the door handle to unlock the door, one is your lock itself. flip it around, you can pop off these white retainers, and then you would kind of bend the wires loose or the cables loose. Just like that. Go ahead and stick the screw back where it was so I remember where it goes. Helpful tip. Alright, next up here we can remove the window motor. It uses a different type of screw or a bit. It uses a Torx bit. So make sure you have the correct tools that'll fit that. Might be helpful to remove the cable first too. So there's a little clip on the side. You kind of have to stick your little screwdriver under the clip and pry upwards to remove the cable. Here's the window motor. Alright, so next step here is you want to make sure that the glass is rolled down, so whether or not you need to push it down, grab the glass, pull it down. You want to see two bolts, one through this hole, one through this hole here. Your car may have rubber covers on it, or it may have foam covers on it. This car used to have foam covers on it with adhesive that would stick here to cover up the holes, but I had to remove them and they no longer stick. That's why you didn't see any on this car. So there's no bolts through here yet. You should now be able to see orange bolts or colored bolts through the two openings. You're going to go ahead and loosen up the 10mm bolts inside here, but do not take the bolt out, if that makes sense. You just need to loosen it. That's all you need to do. Oops. So just loosen it, don't take it out. Alright, next, what you'll need to do is grab some packaging tape, clear tape, whatever you're going to call it. We'll go ahead and hold the glass up. Alright, raise the window up. And I just use some clear packing tape. And I'm just going to put it over the door so it sticks onto the glass. So that will help hold the window up while you're taking apart the window regulator down below. Once you lift the glass up, you should no longer see the glass attached to the rubber, little clamps that kind of clamp onto the glass. So loosening up that bolt loosens up those clamps. Therefore, you should be able to lift the glass up without moving this regulator piece anymore. Next up here is, well, we either remove the speaker because the new one doesn't have a speaker. We also need to undo these three Torx bolts or screws as well. We'll need to remove this cover. We'll need to remove the outside door handle as well. So we'll do all that. I'm gonna grab plastic pry tool again. Remove the cap. Inside the 10mm bolt. Actually, less than 10mm. So 5/16. 5/16 works. Remember that magnetic pickup tool that I had in my how to change the outside door handle video? That is helpful for this. Here's Now we can kind of pull this door lock from the outside out. It should come out. Just like that. Okay. Door handle, all I have to do is kind of push it towards the lock or the opening. So in my case, push it to the right. Do it very carefully because it's a plastic handle. You don't want to break it. There it is. Remove the gaskets that are on the outside. So here's one. Here's two. Go ahead and remove the Phillips screw that's on the outside of the door handle. Alright, next I'm going to remove the Torx bolt on the side. Alright, next up, grab a 9/64 or a similar sized drill bit, and we're going to drill out the rivets that are holding the speaker into place. Maybe a 9/16 is not that big. Let's get a different one. Alright, so this one is a 5/32 drill bit. Alright, if needed, you may need to use a larger drill bit as well. So you'll need to kind of figure it out which size works for you. The small ones I used didn't really work that well, so I had to use a 11/64 now. So let's try that. Alright, I forgot to tell you guys to unplug the door speaker. That'd be important. Alright. So that's what it looks like. Where's the camera here? So the rivets come off and leaves a hole there. Luckily the new window regulator comes with screws and nuts, or nuts and bolts, nuts and screws to hold it in place, so you don't need a rivet gun or anything. Next up is we'll start removing the window regulator, but before we do that, since this wiring harness has to be removed, it is clipped to this pillar here where the rear mirror is. So we're going to go ahead and take a 10mm socket and remove these 3 nuts to remove this side mirror. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you disconnect the cable first, and do not take the nuts out all the way, just loosen them. It'd be a good idea to remove the bottom nuts, keep the top one in place for now. Alright, when you get to the top nut, you'll want to use your left hand or put one of your hands on the outside holding the mirror while you remove the nut with your hand. That's how you remove the side mirror. On the other side, you can now remove the plastic clip that holds this wiring harness in place. All you have to do is usually just pinch the plastic clip. Alright, so for now we'll go ahead and remove these rubber pieces here, basically. So for this one here, for the door actuator, door lock actuator, go ahead and just pinch these rubber pieces and push them inside the window regulator. Alright. So with that, we'll move this one. We will loosen that. that one. All right, now we can remove the 10mm bolts that go around the door panel, or the, sorry, window regulator. Using the clever. Everything. So make sure that the lock actuator is actually pressed in and loose. Make sure on the outside where your outside door handle goes, the little white plastic that's in there, make sure you push that in, make sure it's inside the door as well. That's what loosens up this window regulator. Let's go ahead and pull. Okay, so what's holding this one back is you got to loosen up these wiring harness clips. So there's one right here, you gotta pinch. And this rubber one here actually goes inside the door. Reach in and grab this clip here. This does go on the outside because it's a cable that goes inside here that you unplug. This one goes in. So now, pull, lift up, and there you go. Go ahead and unplug this connector here. I need a screwdriver for that. There we go. You can pull apart your door switch, or I don't know what this is called anymore, door actuator. That is that assembly. Push all of our wires and cables in here. And that is how to remove your window regulator on this driver's side. So that is pretty much it. The new one comes with everything that you see here. So, well, actually, this clip has come off as well. Alright, that sums up this removal. If you dropped your door handle bolt from the side, this is how you would retrieve it. So you reach inside here and you would grab that small little bolt for the outside door handle. Alright, in the next video I'll show you guys how to put together this door again.